Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about XLM or Stellar Lumens. And yeah, sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to ask you guys, could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely. Only takes a couple seconds, and I do greatly appreciate it. Now, I know that I've always talked about XLM with XRP, and I really don't think the only reason why to invest in XLM is because it moves closely with XRP. Although they do move very close and they are pretty much tied to the hip, Stellar Lumens has been providing some immense amount of volume for some major companies out there. And we are seeing this kind of unfold right now. We've actually been seeing a lot of updates within, for an example, the Moneygram partnership. Moneygram has been making some waves. I know that a lot of individuals, myself included, speculate that Moneygram still has not pulled out of their partnership with Ripple. I still don't think that they have myself. But in terms of XLM and Moneygram, they are doing incredible things within the retail scene. But Moneygram recently stepped in for a B2B market disruption, and we're going to be talking about that. Now, currently, the price of XLM is fairly cheap. It's actually ridiculously cheap. We're going to be addressing that. Trading volume down 21.16%. It is pretty rough out there. Now, I will say this on XLM. I do believe that we can come down a little bit lower, possibly to about 25 cents. If we do go any lower than that, I'm definitely going to be looking at some 20 centile bids. Currently, where we are now is at that main demand channel, going all the way back to as far as January 20, pretty much 6th, 2021, which is this year. So we are at a yearly demand channel. We've been at this demand channel in the past, going all the way back to September, even going as far back as July. We broke down to some significant points during the summer, as you guys are probably all aware, hitting about 20 cents. That's pretty much that same demand channel going all the way back to the original massive pump, but also it's the demand channel going as far back as November. So we have been consolidating for a very long time, even since we did hit this little bit of a high at 80 cents. Overall, the date range, we can pretty much see how long it's been since we hit that point. So currently, to our date now, it's about 226 days of consolidation. I know, it's rough. Now, in terms of XLM on the Bitcoin price chart, we're kind of seeing the same sort of thing. We're at this massive demand channel. We're still in this massive consolidation. And I'm just saying it right now. Let's actually remove everything off the chart. And let's actually look at this real quick. So, I don't want you guys to look at this chart like this. I want you guys to look at it on an inverted scale. Now, I know in the past, we've seen the same similar pattern. In fact, look at the same similar pattern going as far back as July 2020 before we've seen those major spikes in November. Look at the exact same pattern that we're in currently. It's eerily similar, okay? And I'm not saying that this is going to lead to a massive breakout. I'm just saying once this does inverse, yeah, a breakout is going to happen. Is it going to be massive? It could be, especially considering how long we have been in this consolidation phase. Now let me invert the scale real quick, and let's actually look at this again. And let's actually go back to November real quick and see where we were. So let me zoom in. So here's that November time frame. It wasn't a massive breakout event. It was fairly large if you are looking at, being in Stellar very early. I mean, this is pretty much at, 9 cents or so. Say for so you just invested on the day before, off of those lows. First off, this was 181% of an increase in price. Probably everybody thought that it was pretty much going to be topped out there, but this continued to make up some grounds. Just a few days later, or I shouldn't say a few days later, but a few weeks later into January, it did about a 437% increase in price, followed by 638%, and of course at that high just recently, 870% of an increase in price. So consolidation was definitely expected, but we have been in a massive consolidation, and usually the longer the consolidation, the higher the next major price appreciation pretty much leads us to, which I do think that in terms of price expansions, we are waiting for, some major high targets on XRP to be met. If that is the case, like for example, if XRP does go to like $10 to $20, we're looking at some pretty high prices for XLM as well, especially if it does follow through with following XRP to the hip, which in my opinion, it definitely will. Now, I do want to talk to you guys about some developing use cases and stuff like that happening right now. And we do look here. India's payments fintech Paytm, I hope that I'm saying that right. That's pretty much how I would pronounce it. Introduces tokenization solution for online credit and debit card transfers. Now, of course, this is with the Reserve Bank of India. They have expanded their tokenization facility from an earlier version / framework to card on file tokenization, or COFT. Now, this is actually from December 26th. We just recently seen Swift jump into the tokenization scene as well. They're saying that it's going to be fairly large, $24 trillion by 2027. And we are seeing here, as mentioned in the blog post by Paytm, this development has been initiated after the RBI, the nation's central bank, had issued the guidelines for payment aggregator and payment gateways. So this is going to begin on January 1st. The payment aggregators and merchants will not be allowed to store the card credentials of the customers in their database, and this is all going to lead into tokenization. And we actually see here the fintech firm also notes that the facility supports all major card networks like RuPay, Visa, and MasterCard. Paytm claims 120 plus million users with at least one saved card on Paytm. So that's actually 120 plus million users. That's fairly large. And I do suspect that this will pretty much lead to mass adoption of tokenization, especially with credit cards and stuff. We just seen MasterCard jump into the tokenization scene as well. So I'm very interested to see how this unfolds. Now you might be wondering, well, where's the connection to, Stellar Lumens here? Well, check this out. December 22nd, Paytm helps Moneygram tap into an $83 billion Indian market. Now, when we're talking about Moneygram, we know that they have a partnership with, Stellar Lumens. This is more so for cross-border payments. This is for, a lot of the API-driven infrastructure and global network to provide its millions of users the ability to send money around the world. And of course, I do believe that this will also lead into the idea of, this tokenization solution as well. I think that all of this is pretty much going to be interconnected. We even see here the digitization of our receive network is a core component of our growth strategy, which has led to exceptional results, including an all-time high in our total transactions received digitally in the third quarter of this year. Now, Moneygram has definitely been making some moves into this market, but this goes back to October 7th, when we've seen Moneygram launches USDC settlement using the Stellar blockchain. The partnership will enable Moneygram customers to fund and withdraw from their accounts using the USDC stablecoin at physical branches. The best part about this is that it's going to enable near instant back-end settlement, account funding, and local fiat withdrawals using the USDC stablecoin. As crypto and digital currencies rise in prominence, we're especially optimistic about the potential of stablecoins as a method to streamline cross-border payments. And I just want you guys to understand, cross-border payments, when we look over here, this is going to be all focused on cross-border payments as well. And I think that this is going to be very, very bullish for, a lot of the things that are going to unfold in 2022 for crypto. And this is going to pretty much provide millions of users the ability to send money around the world. And I do believe that this is going to be in a near instant time basis as well. And this was just Moneygram, Europay partner on Saudi Arabian payments. So this was just one major update. And then we also seen another update from Moneygram with Bcash to enable real-time payments for 55 million users. Real-time payments, by the way. And this is a B2B company based in Singapore. And this is all through Moneygram. We even seen here, this is pretty much, they're well positioned to continue to meet the demand. And we even see here that its digital transactions in India represent nearly half of the transactions received in that country, with the number of transactions sent directly to bank accounts 6 times higher than it was, 2 years ago. And this is all talking more so about remittances of $83 billion. So when we're talking about remittances, we're talking about cross-border payments, we're talking about, real-time payments. All that is, pretty much not accessible without something like, for example, the USDC, settlement network, which this is going to provide immense value. And we even see here the partnership is expected to launch at the end of 2021 in select jurisdictions, with an expanded international rollout planned for 2022. This over here with Paytm is also expected by 2022. I know that some of these, connections may be a little bit of a stretch, but Paytm with Moneygram definitely, in my opinion, is going to utilize Stellar technology. A new segment of cash users will be able to convert their cash into and out of USDC, giving them access to fast and affordable digital asset services that may be or may have previously been out of reach. And of course, it's going to allow customers to withdraw crypto assets for cash via its point of sale outlets in the United States. But when we're talking about digital payments as well, that's definitely going to grow, especially into 2022 in terms of demand for these cross-border payments, streamlining that as well. And even in terms of cross-border payments, we know that Stellar is well positioned for that as well, in terms of fast, affordable, and settlement times are very quick with that as well. But overall, the fees are very cheap, very quick, very easy to understand, especially from an even retail individual. But this leads me all the way back to this Moneygram partnership, and I do believe that this Moneygram partnership is so much bigger than what everybody does see. Stellar is perfectly positioned to just be as big, maybe a little bit smaller than XRP, but also with its major, overall partnerships, it definitely does have the potential to be as big. Because even XRP and XLM are both the only two cryptos within the ISO family that are members of the standards body as well. And this is why I'm definitely focused on even Stellar, extremely focused on Stellar, actually, I should say. But I also am very focused on XRP as well, because XRP does provide immense amount of value as well. But Stellar is continuing to build out these major platforms. Even this one is, more so for NFTs. This is Lightmint. The network is expected to increase on-chain activity in its native XLM, cryptocurrency. It costs about $1.50 to pretty much print an NFT on the network. So this is pretty interesting, and I definitely think that a lot more use cases like this are going to provide immense amount of volume and growth for Stellar. But again, my main focus point isn't on these small little upgrades. It's more so focused on where this will lead us to. This in general is for a lot of retail use, but what MoneyGram is doing is becoming well positioned in a lot of these major markets, and I just don't see them not utilizing some sort of crypto technology. Are they utilizing Ripple? It's a possibility. Are they utilizing XLM? Well, they are fully partnered with them, and a lot of this is real-time payments, and the only way that they are providing real-time payments is through some sort of crypto technology. And I'm just saying, it kind of leads me back to Stellar. Now with this, we also seen Lumenswap. So Lumenswap is actually fairly interesting. This has launched and it's built on Stellar, a decentralized exchange on Stellar, like I said. The interesting thing about this is that this is also focused on the retail use cases. I've always said that this is more so for P2P and retail individuals. Find the best price, fast and low cost, open and decentralized, support of popular wallets as well. Swap your assets fairly easily, create and manage orders as well. This is all from like a centralized exchange experience, and I think that this is also fairly interesting. Like I said, a lot of these major, apps, like you could launch this app, you could pretty much select your app, pretty much launch it very easily. We even see here, OBM, Reward Academy, Lottery, AMM, which is an auto market maker, and then also an NFT. So all of this goes hand in hand with where Stellar is going to essentially be positioned. This AMM is essentially going to, I wouldn't say replace Uniswap, but a lot of AMMs have been launching lately. I even talk more so about that with Casper. I definitely do think it's a unique use case, but all of this goes hand in hand with what we are waiting to see happen for a lot of these DLT technologies. Like, trust me, these platforms are great. Like the XRP Ledger assets that are being built within that space, the dApps that are being built are great. NFTs are awesome. All this stuff is awesome, but this all leads me back to even tokenization. Like NFTs in general, they're so much bigger than JPEGs. Like this tokenization update for, credit cards and debit cards, that's what I want to see tokenized. I don't care about JPEGs. I care about these major financial instruments being tokenized. And even in terms of the MoneyGram stuff with like remittances, we know that crypto finds growing acceptance in cross-border remittances. This goes back to December 2nd. And we know that a lot of this is focused on the P2P markets. We even see our P2P crypto payments costs start at a fraction of a cent and don't end up very much from there either. This is why I'm really focused on a lot of these cross-border payments, these remittances as well. We know that even here, the use of cross-border payment-focused cryptocurrencies like Stellar's XLM, Ripple's XRP, and even Seagold to make remittances faster and more affordable is growing rapidly, according to a September study by Payments and the Stellar Development Fund. That's why when we're talking about, this $83 billion in remittances, I definitely do think that they will pretty much be utilizing Stellar Lumens, because you could pretty much look into this, and you could even look into Stellar for remittances as well and see why they would pretty much be utilizing Stellar for that. But there's just so much unfolding within the Stellar ecosystem that I just don't see it valued at these prices for long. This entire market is set for disruption. It's set for adoption as well. And I'm just very excited to see a lot of these partnerships unfold. I definitely do think that the Moneygram with Stellar, even when it happened, I talked to you guys about it. I told you guys how pretty much lead us, or I should say, bleed Stellar into other major markets, and I definitely do think that that's happening right now. I think that a lot of these major partnerships within the Moneygram, ecosystem are utilizing some sort of crypto technology, especially with this cross-border payment scene. We're even seeing, real-time payments, remittances. It all, screams crypto to me. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments below, though. But Nick, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this video. That's been Nick. Peace out, guys.